Hello everyone, I'm Austin Lebetkin and my project was Bellboy. We tried to create something that was trying to sort of shake up the whole service robot industry, and we did that in a couple really unique ways. So let me put this video start with. What does a robot mean to you? Bellboy means revolutionizing the hotel and cruise experience. Bellboy can save you money, it can reach more guests with fewer staff in half the time. All that adds up to an amazing opportunity. So it can also improve the customer experience. Bellboy is a very friendly robot. There's an app that rides on the Bellboy and interact with customers. It's also available 24 hours a day. It never gets tired. Everything customer needs is on demand with the Bellboy iPad app. It's really, I think, the future of the hotel experience. Make your customers find their new home away from home with Bellboy. So to start with, I'll talk a little bit about the networking behind the scenes. So we were going to create something that uses Bluemix, which is a framework from IBM, where we can actually deploy it locally. So the great thing about this is it means we can deploy it and customers can take their iPads without having to pay for the internet. They just connect to the local network.
It's called what, sorry?
Bluemix from IBM.
Okay.
It's an IoT platform. And so the great thing about that, the way you can deploy it locally, we can basically deploy it on the cruise ships on a local network, and then any customer can take their iPad. These are very high-class customers; they're more likely to have an iPad, and so they bring their iPad, they connect to it, and they don't actually have to pay for the internet, but they can still use the whole Bellboy experience. So, if I give my room number,
by the way, your computer's about to die.
I know.
Okay.
Sorry, 1 second.
No problem.
Okay. So if I give my room number and I give my last name, this will actually verify that you are a customer on the ship, and it also will direct the bellboy to know which room to go to. So I can do a couple things in the app. I can make an order. I can order room service. I can order it, place my order, and then it'll give me a timer of when it expects it to arrive, and I'll talk with the bellboy and send one out. And I can also do stuff like I can order, have my luggage brought to the room and see when the luggage is going to arrive. This is going to time down. You also get a notification when it completes. I can even order toiletries. Say I forgot my toothbrush, something like that, I can add that. I'll just add a little extra time. And I can also order ice if I want to get some drinks and stuff like that. So Bellboy, this app basically can do everything we need on demand for the customer. And also, you can see a little bit of the screen right here. So we put an iPad mini on the actual robot. And so that has a couple things. It can talk to customers when it walks by them and interact with them. And also, if someone gets too close to them, it'll tell them, hey, please watch out, be careful. So it's trying to,
Pretty cool.
it's trying to create the whole experience sort of a very friendly robot. And I'll show you what the actual robot looks like. So this is what our robot looks like for this version of it. We tried to think of how robots are designed like today, and they're very modern, very white plastic. We thought that was almost becoming sort of creepy, so we tried to do more of a contemporary styling, and I think that fits more with what hotels are designed today. And so we did, for this plastic and cloth cutouts that we would use as panels. And the other thing to think about with the logistics of deploying this stuff on Bellboys, we tried to create something that we thought would work better with how the customer experience is. Everyone's afraid about automation. They're afraid robots are going to take people's jobs. But I think the big way of selling this is that, so you think of the peak hours, that you hire staff for 8 hours a day when you have the most customers. But those other 16 hours, you're not hiring people to cover the hotel. You're not offering room service. You're not bringing luggage. You're just not having the best customer experience. What you would do is you would create a staff of bellboys that can handle the hotel during those off-peak hours. And then during the peak hours, they just make everything run more efficiently. So you're not replacing people. You're just making sure you have coverage 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So This is the version 1 of our robot. The latest version of our robot that we're currently building. Actually, a big thing we're thinking about with the motion on a cruise ship, we want to make something that can actually handle the rocking back and forth. So we're creating a really unique design for actually having like almost a gyroscopic motion where it can actually move across and balance with the rocking of a cruise ship. That's something that not a lot. I don't think there's been any service robots that can actually handle the motion of cruise ships. That's something that's big for the latest version we're designing. This version, we designed it to have a line tracker, so you could create these paths and line them out through the hotel. And when it's getting the information sent to the Arduino on the robot, it's going to tell it which path it's going to follow. And so it would have an option to turn right or left, and it would basically be able to find its way to the hotel room we program it for. Later versions, we're actually planning to map out the hotel room and actually just deliver a path through the motions of the hotel. Also, in weekend, this was very hard to build a robot that can actually have the sensing technology we need, but we're building way more motion sensors and just like environmental sensors to be very careful to customers around them. The other big thing about the way we're designing this, we're building with an Arduino, so it's everything that's we're incorporating into it is very scalable. So Arduinos are very easily available, and you can basically make a lot of them. They're all working together, and they all work together with the IoT platform. So the robotics team did use Vex Robotics parts. We actually, my partners were the president and vice president of the robotics team on our campus, so we borrowed parts from the school, which is also why this version had to a deadline where it had to be scrapped by.
That's a return. Take the pieces back to school.
Yeah, but new version, we're custom cutting CNC parts, and we're trying to do more of a custom approach.
Well, you cut.
No, not this version. The next version, like the actual the body and stuff, we're custom doing everything.
Oh, cool.
I built them in a Lua framework,
Okay.
which is essentially language C, so I had access to everything with just networking stuff with the iPad. And I hooked up for the back end with IBM's Bluemix platform. It's the iPad, so it's doing like motion tracking, so it can know when it's moving, it can know when people are nearby it. So we're handling that all in the iPad app.
Okay.
So it's actually, it can connect with your Arduino when we want to say, you order room service, it goes and it's waiting for the chef to drop off the food. So it'll sit there and wait for someone to interact with it then, and then it'll continue on its path. So the iPad app has dual purposes. Looked at what's out there for service robots. A big thing I was seeing was people were putting eyes on them, and I think a big thing that was creepy with the faces. They had like almost like human interaction and stuff, and that was a big turnoff for a lot of customers. So I was looking at that experience, and I created something that almost looked like how you see those analog clocks, which I thought was a very acceptable approach. So it has that sort of analog format, and it still has some semblance so you can know what you're looking at. Having those big eyes, you know what you're looking at, but it's also very much different from a human. And also, I think we tried to create something. We want to do something that's not modern looking. So if we do something modern looking, I think people will respond the same way they respond to every other service robot, which is I think why we don't see them in hotels across the country and cruise ships, is because they have that creepiness to them. So we wanted to go contemporary, and we're looking at hotels today. Maybe in the early 2000s they were designing very modern, but now every nice hotel I've gone to that's redesigning is designing it contemporary, and this is something that would sort of fit with it. Well, you're just making sure you have coverage 24 hours a day. So this is the version 1 of our robot. The latest version of our robot that we're currently building. Actually, a big thing we're thinking about with the motion on a cruise ship, we want to make something that can actually handle